guys, welcome back. It's Shelby and today we are making an evening gown. So I'm so excited for this project. I had in my head kind of this like drapey blue, beautiful, maybe out of jersey because it's like really comfortable and stretches. But then I also wanted to be like budget conscious because I don't actually have an event that I'm going to. I just want to make the dress. So I went to Joann Fabrics, and this place is awesome because if you sign up for their email, they always send like really good coupons. And one of the coupons I love from them is 50% off one item in your purchase. And if you buy like a long thing of fabric, as long as it's one cut of fabric, that always counts. So you can get like really great things for really cheap there. For example, I spent a grand total and I got way more fabric than I need because I'm not sure it'll go around me widthwise. So I got like over 3 yards to make sure that no matter what, I have enough fabric, and I'm probably gonna have a ton left over. I got this really cool ribbon for the belt, and I'll talk about this later. And then a few other bobs and bits, and I came out with $25.89. So I have way more things than I need, and I spent 26 bucks on this dress. So it's gonna be awesome, and it's super cheap. So if you guys are looking for kind of a place to get fabric and stuff, Joann's is awesome because they have their coupon. You should never have to pay full price there. There's no reason. That being said, some of their things are really expensive, so kind of shop around because like things there you can find at other craft stores for a lot cheaper. Like they have doilies that are like $6. You can get them at Michael's for $1.50. So definitely shop around, but they do have a great fabric section and they do have sales all the time, and with the coupons, it definitely is worth it. So basically I'm just gonna run through my thought process of making this dress. So I wanted blue jersey and I went there, and all of the blue jersey I could find was like 14 and up. Some was like $12 a yard. But then I found this, and it's purple, and it's a beautiful color, and it's also jersey. And it was $7 a yard, something like that, and it was on 25% off sale. And then I was like, oh, and then I have my 50% coupon on top of that. So super, super cheap. For a little over 3 yards, I paid, where is it? I think actually $7 because there was like this much remaining on the bolt, and they're like, please don't make us like put that in the remnants. We'll give it to you for like an extra 75 cents. And I was like, I'll take it. So all of my fabric over 3 yards was like less than $8. And I get that this was a fluke. It was on sale, but you can like pretty regularly find deals like this. That's why I'm sharing it, because it's awesome. Then I knew I needed a belt. And at first I was thinking like, okay, well, I want, you know, actually like a ribbon belt, but I couldn't find a ribbon in the exact color. And then I was like, oh, I can make it like glamorous with like gold and all this. But like a lot of the trimmings were like $14 a yard. And then I found this, which is beautiful, totally gonna work. And this was like $2 a yard. So I was like, oh, it's perfect. And it's gold with a color in between. So it's red. They had red or green. The green was okay, but the red actually looks really great against the purple. So another compromise because, you know, it's not purple, but I actually really like the contrast. It's just a little pop of color. So if you're willing to be flexible, you can find some really great things and kind of evolve your vision as you go. I also found these. I think they were like $3. They're gonna go on the straps. They just go with the look of my dress. Like I needed something like this, and I was debating between this and like a U-shaped one, but these were slightly bigger and a better color gold to match everything. So that's why I went with these, and I thought they would be better. And then I have this too, and this I think was like $4. I've actually used one of these before. I actually really like them. And it's a clasp. Like it's hard to tell, but it's a decorative clasp. So one of them has a little loop and the other has the hook, and it does that. So that's what's gonna close my belt. So basically I'm just gonna like sew the edges on like this, and it's gonna close my belt. So yeah, that's everything I got. I got some thread too. And that is everything that I'm going to use to make the dress. And like I said, all of this, and I do have extra, is like 26 bucks. So, and even looking at my receipt, my total savings, even without like coupons and stuff, was like $15.49. So even without that, it would have been less than 40 bucks. So definitely a steal. If you're wondering, I got a little over 2 yards of this. Basically how I measured it is because it's gonna be the straps. I just put it over here and then took this and wrapped it around my waist and then said, I want this much, and they cut it there for me. So that's how I figured out that. But we are going to get into the dressmaking. If you like the video, let me know by hitting that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and let's get going. Okay, so I've got my fabric, I've got my loops, and I've got giant safety pins. Ideally, you would be using a dress form for this stage, but I don't have one. So we're just gonna use me, and here we go. So I'm hoping, and I don't know, but I'm hoping that the width of the fabric is going to be enough to kind of do this. If not, I'll just do it lengthwise. That's why I got 3 yards, just to make sure I had enough. And yeah, this actually looks pretty good. So this is the width of the fabric, and then it goes lengthwise out and out and out and out and out. So I could actually make like a really baller train on this dress if I wanted, but I'm probably not gonna do that. So we'll get my loops and my safety pins. And basically we're just going to figure out where we want the top of the bodice and put it through the loops and pin it, because that's going to connect to the straps. So I'm just gonna kind of drape the fabric kind of where I want it. It still has the rough edge, the rough seam edge. I'm gonna take care of that later, but just like make sure you fold it down for now. So this is kind of how I want it to hang. It's not too low in the back. It's good kind of right here. So yeah, these are where I need my straps to connect. So I'm just gonna loop them through the loops and pin them under so we can run a seam. So with both loops attached, this is what you're looking at. They just go through, and they are the safety pins hiding in there, just pinned on underneath. Obviously we're gonna sew it, but basically this is the back of the dress and it loops around, and that's the front. So just make sure that the loops kind of fall exactly where you want them to go, and then that it is as high, like the fabric's tight enough to go as high up your back and around as you want. If you want it looser, go closer to the ends, or don't use fabric widthwise, use it lengthwise so that you can get a much more dramatic, you know, fall of fabric. I'm going for mine a little bit higher at my back, so this is perfect, but it's just gonna wrap around and kind of sit like that. Obviously I'm going for a very drapey dress. That's, you know, hence the fabric choice. I wanted it to be comfortable, stretchy, kind of move with me, you know, kind of bunch up, get big, not like at all like my ball gown, which if you haven't seen that, oh my God, check it out. I will link it above. But that was just yards and yards and yards of tulle, and it was big and giant and amazing. But that's not what this dress is gonna be. So different fabric choice, different dress silhouette. But yeah, that's basically just how you run the straps. 2 little loops. So I think the next easiest thing to work on is attaching the straps. So I've got my loops sewed on, and I've got my ribbon and a safety pin. And basically what I'm going to do is, which side's the front of the dress? That's important. This side's the front. So I'm going to loop it through, making sure that it's, you know, looping the correct way, just like that. And then I'm just gonna safety pin it there, and we're gonna sew it, but first we're going to measure out the other side. So I'm leaving a fair amount of strap here just because I don't know how strong this ribbon is, and I'm gonna reinforce it a lot when I stitch it on. So we've got that. Now we're gonna measure. Here we go. Just like that, kind of measure how long you want the ribbon, safety pin it, cut it, and sew it. And that's your strap. Okay, so now that your strap is done, you can put on what will be your dress is currently like a glorified cape. And the raw edge down the center, this is the edge of the fabric with the holes in it. Basically just kind of roll that under a little bit and then figure out where you want your bust to fall and then just put a little pin in there so you don't end up sewing beyond that. And what we're going to do is take that rough edge on both sides. Make sure you flip it the right way. You're going to want to flip it in so that you don't have a seam coming out the front of your dress. But we're just going to run a stitch basically from the pin down to the floor. I still have tons and tons of fabric down here because I haven't trimmed my dress yet. But basically just connect the inside fabric. And with the way it drapes, you're not going to see it. Like just even though there's a seam down the front, like there's all this fabric and everything gathering, you're not going to see it. So don't worry about it. But make sure that you do roll it down up here and then do your pin and then just stitch the seam all the way down. So there's the raw edge, just roll it under a little bit. Okay, last step of the dress part of the dress is to trim it. So basically I had pinned the bottom of the middle seam a little bit further down than my feet went because I intend to wear heels with this dress. So if you're cutting it and you intend to wear heels, make sure you leave a little bit of room for that. But basically I'm just gonna lay it out flat and cut it to the seam and hope that works. But what we're going to move on to right now is the belt. So I have my ribbon, and what I'm going to do is just kind of fold it back over on itself because it does fray a bit, and just shore it up with a few stitches. And then I'm going to attach it to this, which I can actually take out of the package and show you what it is because I'm using it now, so it doesn't matter because I won't lose it. There we go. So this is the clasp for my belt. Just kind of hooks together like that. So once I have kind of folded this over and just secured it with a few seams just so it doesn't fray, I'm going to stitch it to the back of this. There's no cheating or shortcuts for this. You have to hand stitch it. The filigree is just kind of really, it's beautiful, but it's really fine and non-uniform. So good luck getting a sewing machine through that. So basically I'm just gonna stitch it on like that by hand. Here we go. Okay, so we are all secured with our first side on there. It's kind of what it looks like. Well, actually that's exactly what it looks like, but focus, maybe? There we go. So kind of a rat's nest on the back end, but the front end looks pretty good. So now all you have to do is wrap it around your waist, figure out where the next side's going to clip. Mine's right there. So I'm gonna add a little bit of ribbon to tie under, but just cut it off right there. That's your size. That's all you gotta do. Sew on the other side. Okay, so the belt is done. Basically, it just hooks up like that. Isn't that cute? That looks really cute. That looks really good. I messed up a little bit and got a little bit of that out there, but I can either sew it down or cut it off or something. Not a big deal. This is super cute. I'm gonna try it on so you can see it. Okay, so here's the belt, and it just kind of goes on like a normal belt. You don't want it super tight. It's not meant to like hold you in, but it can't really be, you want it about this loose. You can't really have it super loose because there's a lot of draping in the dress. And this is what really gives it its shape. It's kind of the secret weapon. When I put the dress on and show you kind of for final reveal, I'll take the belt off so you can see. But the point of the dress is it's a little bit loose. You just slip it on over your head. There's no like buttons or zippers or anything, so it's got to be a little bit baggier. So the belt's really what's going to hold it in. And the belt's separate, so you know, you put it on after the dress. But this is actually really cute. You could kind of wear this like every day, anywhere that you want. So yeah, I'm super happy with the belt even before it goes on the dress. So this is awesome. Alright guys, final reveal. This is how it turned out. Isn't it cute? I love it. So the draping really does hide the seam. You can't see it at all. This is what I mean about the belt really giving it shape. Otherwise, not so much. But you put it on and instant glam, and then you just kind of adjust the ruching where you want it. In the back, I left mine really long so I could wear heels, which I'm not currently in, obviously, because I'm bouncing up and down. But it's a good length for heels, and this is pretty easy to make actually. So this took me about 2.5 hours to make, start to finish, and I was filming, and filming actually takes a little bit longer because if you just completely mess up what you're saying, you basically have to start the scene over again. So yeah, it shouldn't even take that long. It's not even that many seams. Just push this through, pin it, seam there, seam down the center, some hand stitching on the belt. This is actually really easy to make. It's super comfortable because everything stretches. Like the fabric's really stretchy. I think it's really flattering because it kind of like hugs your curves and then moves away from it, and that's just like the fabric's a really easy fabric to work with and a really easy fabric to wear. It's something that you can wear all night and not like feel all constrained and gross at the end of it. Like you just feel comfortable. It's lightweight. Anyway, I hope you guys liked the project. I hope you liked the dress. If you did, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Consider subscribing. I'd love to see you here again soon. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.